Good morning, dear student. Welcome to the online classes. Today I am going to explain you chapter 5, plant reproduction. In this chapter I am going to explain you about sexual reproduction, that is fertilization. Sexual reproduction, that is fertilization, and structure of seed. In that I am going to explain you about dispersal of seeds, germination, and vegetative reproduction. The process by which living organisms produce more of its own kind is called reproduction. Reproduction is the biological process by which new individual organisms' offspring are produced from their parents. Reproduction takes place in two ways, sexual and asexual. Now we will learn about the sexual reproduction in plants. In sexual reproduction, parents are involved, means both male and female are involved to produce a new individual. When new plants are produced from the seed of a plant, it is called sexual reproduction. In the previous chapter, I have explained you that flowers are the reproductive organ of a flowering plant. Stamen is the male reproductive part of a flower. Anther in a stamen produced pollen grains. Pollen grains contain male reproductive cell. Pistil is the female reproductive part of a flower. Stigma is at the tip of a pistil that receives pollen grain during pollination. Style transfer the pollen grain to the ovary. Fertilization. Pollen grain land on stigma and produce a tube called pollen tube. This pollen tube carries the male gametes or the male reproductive cells through the style to the ovary, which contains the ovule. Ovary contains the ovules. Each ovules contain a female gametes or an egg. The male gamete then combines with the female gametes, means pollen grain combined with the egg to form a fertilized cell called zygote. The process in which the male gamete fuses with female gamete to form a zygote is called fertilization. After fertilization, the zygote develops into an embryo inside the ovule. Upon further development, the embryo forms a baby plant. The ovules grow into seeds and the ovary grow into fruit. Structure of a seed. Children, after fertilization, the embryo formed inside the ovule is surrounded by a protective seed coat. From where the seed coat develops? It develops from the ovule wall. So, The hard outer cover of the seed is called seed coat. The seed gets water through a tiny hole on the seed coat, the seed hole. The purpose of the seed coat is to protect the seed from physical, temperature related or water damage. The inner part of the seed that provide food for the baby plant is called cotyledons or seed leaves. These are the cotyledons of the seed, or you can say seed leaves. The leaves present on the seed are called cotyledons. Usually seeds have one cotyledon or two cotyledons. Seed leaves. The baby plant uses this food till it grows its own root and leaves. Once a food in the cotyledon is used, the cotyledon shrinks and fall off. Germination. As you all know, students, all the plants around you starts life as a seed. Without seeds, there would be no plants and earth would be a barren place that would not support the many forms of life that surround us every day. Seeds are usually fairly small. Despite their small size, though, seeds contain food and all the instruction necessary to sprout to life as a plant. As you all know, seed itself contain cotyledon or seed leaves, which give food for the baby plant. The baby plant, which is still contain its cotyledon, is called a seedling. When seeds are planted, they first grow roots. Once these roots take hold, a small plant will begin to merge and eventually break through the soil. When this happens, we say that the seed has sprouted. The scientific name of this process is called germination, the development of a new plant from a seed under the right environmental conditions. As the plant grows and begins to make its own food from nutrients it takes from the soil, it will grow into a larger plant. The seed itself is like a survival package. As you all know, that seed itself contains cotyledons or seed leaves. It contains the food the seed needs while it is growing, root and forming into a small plants. The three things plants need to grow are light, food and water.